So basically, as we all know, Diddy is in hot water right now. He's a billionaire, or he was a billionaire, because I heard that he's trying to sell one of his mansions. Probably the one that, that the feds has raided. He had a lot of power in the music industry. So it seems like he's used that against people for his own selfish ways. But now everything has backfired on him.
Kevin Hart is at a Diddy party, and they made the mistake of putting the content online. So I'm about to show you some darkness, okay? So watch the video. You're about to see it's not a normal thing that's happening, okay? You have a girl in the bathtub. I'm trying to cover up as much as I can. And just watch what happens to the girl surrounded by water. Watch what happens to her. Just keep watching. It's about to happen. It's about to happen. Watch at her. You see what's going on there? You see the smoke? You see the smoke? Her is on fire. Kevin Hart finds it hilarious. He's laughing hard. So, when you hear that dodgy things are happening at these weddings, at these parties, okay, really bad things are happening. And he's about to take down so many people. So many people from the videos from the parties are about to go to jail. Diddy is the Harvey Weinstein of hip-hop, according to some people. I'm not trying to get sued. So watch this space and see how many celebrities are going down because of this dude.
Brand new Diddy news just came out. His PR guru of over 20 years quit. Her cell phone is no longer active, her email is no longer active, and she's the one who has worked with him for decades and was pivotal in changing his bad boy rapper image into this entrepreneur, white party type of guy. And that's not all we're learning. There's also a new allegation that has come out. And this one is coming from a former reporter. She talks about how when she was 23 years old, she interviewed him, and then the after party was questionable. Definitely not safe for TikTok. We also now know that despite his defense team offering $50 million and saying he will have no cell phone access, his property will essentially become Fort Knox, the judge is saying no, absolutely no bail. He will be held here until trial. Which isn't that surprising given his history with witness intimidation and physical attacks. But here's something I learned about his defense attorney. Guess who else he represented? Keith Raniere. From Nexium? While everybody has been drawing parallels between Diddy and Jeff Epp, they haven't been talking about that connection. Or the fact that apparently he's in the shoe inside that Brooklyn detention center. There's a lot that just got released today, so I'm breaking down all of it, including the new allegations over on the podcast. You can find it all here on all podcast platforms. And here's the exact episode.
You say his fame makes him a target.
Yes, in my humble estimation, his life, his safety is in jeopardy in any correctional lockup right now. If it is true, as reported, that he is housed in the special housing unit, it's important to note that the special housing unit is a lockdown, 24-hour lockdown unit. The MDC Brooklyn is a high-rise. The vast majority of the floors are general population floors. But the special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown facility. So this is for Mr. Combs' protection. His incredible worldwide celebrity combined with the allegations, the charges now, an indictment, of course, of acts of violence against women make him a very attractive target.
All right.
Obviously, they need to safeguard him.
Breaking news right now, Larry. I am just getting word. People Magazine says it's got a source on the inside that tells them that P. Diddy's on suicide watch tonight. Do your sources confer the same information? Are they saying it was possible?
Yeah, he is on suicide watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there, he was like an overnight guest. When they called his bond hearing, now they checked him into the system, and reality has hit him. And I understand that he has a shrink coming by his cell to see him several times a day. They have housing units. And they're mixing bank robbers, drug dealers, rapists with white-collar people. And this is why Diddy, he can't go into a regular housing unit because somebody will take him out.
Time to share my Diddy story. I was not going to share this story. And I think you'll see why towards the end of the story. But I've known Diddy was shady since the late 90s. I was a bank teller in New York in the late 90s at a bank branch that was located in the Fashion District. And one of my regular clients actually was Biggie's mom. And one of the first indications that Diddy was shady is I literally asked her, I was like, oh, so what's Diddy like? Do you like Diddy? You know, I know, you know, obviously he started your son's career, blah, blah, blah. And she gave me the weirdest look. She was like, And I was like, oh, no, not a good, she's like, and like, you can tell she wanted to say more, but she just chose not to. And I get it now. And then another time, this very big, burly gentleman came in and wanted to take out $30,000 in cash. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with federal laws, anything over $9,999 needs to be reported to the federal government if it's in cash. And that means $30,000 in cash needs to be reported to the federal government. So I had to go ahead and get all the paperwork. He waited in line, went to my window. I had to get all the paperwork together. And then I was advised by my manager to take him to the safe deposit room so we can count out the cash in private. And so we go back there, and I am nervous as all heck because it turns out he's Diddy's bodyguard. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Like, usually people with that kind of money don't just come and take out cash. They usually, you know, write checks at the time or use credit cards or whatever. So I was already kind of like, this is sus, right? So we go back there, count out the money. I do have to do it twice, by hand and by machine. And then as we're done, I was like, oh, you know, just curious. You don't have to answer if, you know, you can't. But what's the cash for? And he goes, oh yeah, it's for a music video. Diddy likes to pay in cash. And I was like, okay. And so then he like smiled at me and handed me $100 tip. And I was just like, cool. Like, I wasn't even sure I could take a tip, but hey, bonus. That was really nice. But now I look back and I'm like, that's a little sketch, no? Like, was that not like buying my silence at the time a little bit? Like, not that I knew anything, but I had heard stories for years about him and how he treated people and his energy. And he even, like, I had models that I knew that worked in BET's Rip the Runway when that was out. And they said he was a horrible person to them, especially the plus size models. Like, he was nasty to them, disrespectful, mean. And they were just like so disappointed because these were fans, right? So yeah, I've heard stories for years about Diddy. And I wasn't going to share because I didn't meet him personally, but I knew enough over time that none of this surprises me. And the fact that the DA is going back to like 2008 and they're like, oh, as far back as 2008. No, homie. Like, try 1998. Like, he was taking out cash around the same time that there was that shooting in the club where J-Lo had his gun for him. So perhaps people were getting paid off then with that money that I counted out for him. Just food for thought.